Zone. Welcome to Midday Mania, the live streams that we do here from time to time on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I'm gonna try and keep this short today. It is fucking hot out here. I'm in Texas and hold on. I know what to do for this. Shout out to my son for buying me this gadget for Father's Day. Give everybody a couple minutes to get in here like always. I got the truck turned off. There we go. There we go. Got the fans on me, everybody. Got the fans on me. Don't laugh at me now. Don't laugh at them. Gotta keep it cool up in here. So I'll give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. I would love for you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell with all so you can be notified when we drop fruitful, nutritious content. Make sure you give the videos a like, share, all that other good stuff. Give you guys and girls a couple minutes to get up in here. So hope everybody having a good day. Definitely. Shout out to my brother, Well Dressed Tactical. Yeah, man. Eyes and Ears Tactical. Regular Gun Guy. The Honest Outlaw. Dr. T, Guns and Journey. Autumn's Armory. Black Rambo, my brother Canic Coach, man. I see you out there. You the Canic, man. I'm loving that. I'm loving them young fellas getting out there. We need the young studs out here, man. We kind of done lit the torch and we trying to pass it on to the young dudes. You know, one of these days we all gonna be old and we gonna have to make our date with the Grim Reaper come true. And we would love to leave a good legacy of 2A content creators when we leave this planet, man. So definitely shout out to everybody. Also, if you want to advertise on the channel, hit me up in the comment section. If you got products for advertising and maybe we can get together in business, definitely. If you plan on becoming if you plan on becoming a content creator, go for it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. Definitely. Sorry, everybody. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing I thought about doing. It is definitely warm out here, I can tell you that. So yeah, mine got a little bend in it from where I keep it at, but that's all right. That's all right. So I give everybody a couple more minutes to get up in here. We'll start it at the 2-minute mark. Like I said, hope everybody having a good day. Try not to go overboard today. Try and give y'all a good 30-minute piece of nutritious fruit and vegetable to digest on for the rest of the day. So, as a matter of fact, to grab me a water. It is definitely warm out here. Make sure as you come in, you hit the likes button too. Make sure you hit that likes button. That is definitely appreciated. Help us get in the algorithm. You guys know, unlike some of these YouTube channels out here, and I don't mean GunTube, I mean some of these other channels, some of these other people that paid Google and whoever to boost their algorithm. We're gonna do grassroots. We're gonna do it through good old-fashioned hard work. So definitely coming to y'all from out here in Brookshire, Texas. Old Brookshire. Be heading back to the Alert Zone headquarters here in the next week or so. All right, let's get into it. So today's topic is about hell on earth. For those of you who do not know, we had 3 mass shootings slash multiple killings this weekend. We had an incident in North Carolina where a guy on a boat, to my understanding, stood up on the boat and let me take this damn thing off. It's good for outside. Oh, there we go. This guy stood up. Sorry, everybody. Forgive me. Sorry about that. This guy stood up on the boat and apparently unalived, killed quite a few people. We had the church shooting yesterday in Michigan, where the guy drove his truck into the church and aired the joint out. And then apparently Saturday night, there was an incident in Eagle Pass, Texas, where a guy opened fire in a casino. I'm not sure what that was about, and then led police on a chase or something. I know they caught him like 3 hours away or what have you. So it's hell on earth right now. Sorry about that. In the wake of all that has transpired here in the last month or two, I just want everybody to understand something. You have to be careful out here. People say they don't come out and go around large gatherings. Well, guess what? If you're a religious person, are you going to tell me that you're going to stop going to church? This stuff is happening everywhere. Nobody thinks that they're going to go to dinner and get shot up. Nobody thinks that they're going to go to a casino and get their damn head blowed off in a rampage. Nobody thinks that they're going to go to church and be carried out in a bag or on a stretcher. Let me make this clear. I know people like to make this a gun issue. I'm not going to make it a gun issue. There's more to it. We have a lot of criminals out here. We have a lot of criminal-minded people. For those of you who want gun control, it's too late. There's too many illegal firearms on the grounds in America. That's number one. Number two, criminals are not going to disarm. Only the law-abiding citizens. So I don't want to hear nothing about gun control. It's going to happen. And it shouldn't happen. My proposal is, let's get rid of these gun-free zones. Some of this stuff is happening in places that's supposed to be gun-free, yet there's still somebody airing the joint out, taking people off the planet, doing things like that. I say, we're just gonna have to address it. We do have a mental health crisis in this country. Here's my thing about mental health. We got to talk about it across the board, or we can't talk about it at all. The North Carolina incident, the incident at the church, and the incident in Eagle Pass, I just noticed the reporting was very different. The guy in Eagle Pass that pulled this little stunt at the casino, he's a black fella, and they had no problem like that getting his face on the news and showing him in his orange jumpsuit trying to hide his face and what have you. We come into a point in this country where until we all admit that we have a problem across the board, we never gonna solve the problem. I said I wasn't gonna bring this guy up anymore, but it's still lingering around, and it's got a conversation started. The murder of Charlie Kirk was one of the most ironic things that could have happened. It brought something, and it brought a conversation that has been avoided for a long time. Yet it's a conversation that needs to be had. But it needs to be had by that community. Our community, everybody knows our issues. It's well documented. We lead the crime blotter in the news is in places we don't even live. There's people in Utah, Idaho, Washington State. There's places where there ain't a black person nowhere in sight, and people are getting armed because they're worried about these gangbangers from the south side of Chicago. A big reason we have hell on this earth right now, especially in this country, is too many people throwing stones from a glass house. Criminality is everywhere. And you're starting to see this on display. If you are younger, if you're 25 years old or younger, you probably don't remember life before the internet. Me being 46, I remember life before the internet. And the internet has exposed a lot of things that mainstream media refuse to talk about. It's hell on everybody right now. All of us. As I say, I don't want to hear nothing about gun control, because gun control ain't going to stop these maniacs. Remember, Timothy McVeigh didn't use a gun. He used the bomb when he pulled off the Oklahoma City bombing. Serial killers don't normally run around with guns. By the way, in the Houston area, I know the news refused to say it, there's a serial killer around there. They keep coming up with entirely too many bodies. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's a team of serial killers. I don't know. For the women out here, I beg y'all all the time to don't take your safety for granted. Don't expect because you're a female nothing is going to happen to you. And don't expect that if something happens to you, it's going to happen to you from a man. Because women are just as dangerous out here. Worldwide, we having a problem. All over the world right now, we having issues. So, right now it's hell on earth. We just have to be vigilant, be armed, but you also have to remember one thing. Being legally armed gives you a chance. It does not guarantee that nothing can happen to you. I know at any given time, any given place, I can catch a stray bullet. I can be somewhere and a hell can break loose. Having a firearm gives me a 50-50 chance. It's what it does. You guys and girls know school is going on. We always on the edge about another school shooting. These churches. My understanding is it was some kind of a Mormon church that was shot up or the attack was on. Let me make this clear to you. Church attacks and church burnings are not new in America. It's been going on in my community for centuries. It's just spread it to everywhere else now. That's it. That's the only difference you see. I know a lot of times we have these high profile acts of violence, mass violence, and we've all gotten to a point where we want to see the shooter and everybody's hoping and praying it's not from their group. Well, guess what? It's criminality everywhere. Every group has their criminals. All of us. You know, can't clean up other people's houses if yours is dirty. It's a sad day. My condolences to everybody that lost their lives in these mass tragedies over the weekend, and to everybody that's lost their lives over the weekend. All you guys and girls got to understand is a gun-free zone don't make it safe. When you go into these churches, you got to be packing. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. It's right there in your Bible. Those of y'all who get dressed on Sundays and put them little chapel caps on and your slip and your white dress, you should be packing your 38 or something. Pack you something in that little purse you got. Right there in the good book that you bobbing and hemming and hawing and amening with, it tells you sell your cloak and buy a sword. When you sell your cloak and buy a sword, you keep that sword with you at as many places as you can legally get it into. I'm not telling you go in a government building armed, but I want everybody to just understand that. You got to take it, you got to understand it can happen anytime, any place, anywhere. Staying in your home is not going to guarantee that nothing won't happen to you. And moving on, I'm going to address this one other thing, and then I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get out of here. The Terrence Crawford incident, for those of you who haven't seen, Terrence Crawford was stopped by Omaha Police Department about 1 in the morning, and I know he received a ticket for reckless driving. My understanding is the officer is on video admitting he didn't have a radar gun to say whether he was speeding or not. I don't know. I'm just giving the preliminary on it. The reason I'm addressing this is I talked about open carry laws the other day. And my biggest fear about open carry is the people that's going to be out here enforcing these laws. I'll continue to tell you guys, some of us have asterisks next to our Second Amendment rights. We got them on paper, but on the side of the road, we usually don't. And they have an asterisk next to it. I'm glad this brother survived. The code word of don't reach for a gun came up. That's usually the code word for let me shoot him and say he was reaching for a gun. Is my understanding, Terrence Crawford and his security were legally armed, and they were pulled out the car at gunpoint. I'm hearing reports that one of the officers even put a shotgun up to his head. I don't know all the details. All I'm saying is, on the side of the road, when you get stopped, thank goodness he used this. You got a lot of people out here that's out here to enforce the law, and we pro-justice here. We're not anti-law enforcement. We're just pro-justice. But you have a lot of psychopaths out here. You got a lot of sexual deviants that's behind badges out here. You don't know who, like they tell you, I don't know you and your intentions. You don't know them and their intentions. They're sworn to protect and serve, but are you sure that's what they're stopping you for? As I told you, having a gun is not illegal. This is why I brought up my concern about open carry. Going up the street, you don't know who's going to stop you, and you don't know what time that officer is going to be on. So, you guys and girls are welcome to go ahead and research the whole Terrence Crawford thing. I'm not going to racialize it in the sense of this officer saw a gun or heard that there was a gun. My understanding is Terrence Crawford let him know he had a firearm. He did what he's trained to do. When they hear a gun or see a gun, they're trained to put a gun in your face. Because it keeps happening. And it happens to people from different groups. I've known people from different groups that this happened to. So, getting stopped on the side of the road, man, you just don't never know who's gonna stop you. Use your head. Any officer that points a gun at you and screams, stop reaching, or you seem like you're reaching for a gun or whatever, you better take it into consideration that officer is trying to end your life. Be strategic. I know you may not like going through the headache of having a gun put in your face. I've been through it more times than I can count. I know the routine. That's why I do videos about encounters with law enforcement when you're legally armed. There's a protocol. Believe me, I've talked to officers that were very cordial with me. I've talked to officers that told me that it would just bother them that my gun was legal because they was looking for a reason to shoot me. I've talked to officers that said they don't like black people being armed, and I've talked to officers that said no citizen should be armed. So you just don't never know. Like I said, for those of you who back the badge, I want you to understand something. All them guys and girls behind the badge don't support your right to self-defense and don't support your right to the Second Amendment. I want you to understand that. You can't just blindly support people. I know what the message is supposed to be, but I'm telling you that's not the way it goes in practice. So you guys and girls have to be careful out here. Oh, what's going on, Dexter Norman? Oh, man, just doing this quick midday mania, man. I know it's been a while since I did one. I had the opportunity. Right now the board is kind of slow, so I'm going to go ahead on and jump on this, and I'm gonna get out of here and look for me something so I can get my butt to work, man. It's slow out here, but gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep the wheels turning. Like I said, I'm gonna say this again. On the side of the road ain't where you argue with these people. And I'm glad Terrence Crawford and his security understood that. They understood with this guy. It doesn't matter that it was Terrence Crawford. It could have been any old person. These guys and girls do what they're trained to do. There's no way you can have the same scenario happen in the East Coast and the very same scenario happen on the West Coast. They're trained to do that. Anytime they hear a gun, they will. Man, appreciate you. You stay out there. I appreciate your continued support, man. These guys and girls do what they're trained to do. They're trained to stick a gun into your face. They're trained to do that. I already told you guys, and I don't know, maybe one day I might do another video about the code words. But stop reaching basically is a cover up for, we know I might have a body camera on. If I can say stop reaching, I can shoot you and then say he reached. Remember, Geronimo Yanez got away with that with Philando Castillo. So this is not to beat up on police, but this is just to point out, even Terrence Crawford, who practices his Second Amendment rights, the undisputed boxing champ, was smart enough to understand he's on the side of the road. This ain't where you pull this argument stuff with him. He asked a simple question. To my understanding, I haven't seen it. Where's your proof that I was driving recklessly? Now, you know, he was given a ticket. 9 times out of 10, it was for the officer to cover his butt, you know, that he, I don't know, you know. But nevertheless, he handled it perfectly because he lived to tell about it. At the end of the day, believe me, it's uncomfortable having a gun stuck up in your face. I know what it's like to have a gun up in my face and have a motherfucker threatening to blow my fucking head off for doing what he told me to do. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have them snatch me out the car with a seatbelt on, and all I try and do is get the seatbelt off so they don't choke me, and they scream he's reaching. I know the feeling. I know what it's like to get my ass kicked by the police. I know what it's like to come across these guys and these girls. They don't need more training. They're doing what they're trained to do. And as soon as the public understands that, the more and more people will learn how to deal with these guys and girls. They're trained. Always keep the upper hand, to always keep you in front of them and keep the situation under control. And they have laws that give them the right to use maximum force. And let's be honest, you know, a lot of these guys and girls, all you have to do is watch cops and you'll hear them say it. I picked this particular area because this is where all the action is. In other words, I picked this particular area to patrol so I could act a damn fool and use force. It's just what it is. Like I said, it's just like having a party of 1,000 people. One person gonna show up looking for trouble. Well, if you got 1,000 cops, one of them out there looking for trouble. All right, we got Waxahachie in the house. Yeah, I was up that way. Well, you know, I was up that way last week in Terrell. But, man, I just wanted to say to everybody, man, be careful. There's already so many guns on the street in America. Gun control ain't gonna fix the problem. The problem starts right here. Admitting what the problem is. If you don't admit a problem, you can't fix it. Like I said again, all right, we got Amarillo in the building. The death of Charlie Kirk got a public conversation going. People from his community are coming out. I know that pastor up there in Utah or Idaho or wherever he was from that was talking about us being evil and, you know, we violent and all this other craziness. I noticed he was pretty quiet about the church shooting that happened. Nevertheless, understand something. You have a right to live. You have a right to self-defense. Protect yourself. Do not put your safety in somebody else's hands because you may not live to tell about it. With that being said, I'm going to let everybody get out here. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This has been another episode of Midday Mania. And until next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. We out.